We here?
What's good,
What's
bro?
good? What's good?
How you living?
I'm living good, man. Faithful, man. It was a rough start to the year, but I tell you what though, these past 2 months has really showed me a lot as far as not being too disrespectful to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Cause heading into the new year, it was crazy, man, for me on my end. Like I had a lot just happening like after Christmas, going into the new year, and then trying to really start in February. But I worked it out, you know. Obviously, was able to record and release new episodes, and then do other things as far as getting photo shoots done and all that. But yeah, just keeping my head tight. That's really what it's been, honestly. How about you, man? You know.
This was good, man. This was good. Nah, kind of the same thing. I mean, like you said, the New Year was interesting to say the least. But but nah, man. I mean, I just really been here. I've been up in Virginia,
Yeah.
um, working out, doing school. Uh, trying to get as acclimated as possible.
Yeah.
Um, but other than that, man, just chilling, man. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I don't have a whole bunch of. I don't have too much responsibility on my plate right now. I can really just
Yeah.
just focus on myself.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Focus on myself, which is something I probably won't be able to do for too much longer. So I'm enjoying it while I got it.
Yeah, yes, sir. That's all you can do right now, you know, as far as what you are in control in and what you're not in control in, and attending to those things, you know what I'm saying? Um, like you said, not too many responsibilities or too many things on your plate, but you know, you're doing what you can for yourself right now. And there you go. Got the camera on. All right, this might as well be the intro right here. I'm not even gonna lie to you. We just got right into it.
No cap, no cap, no cap. What's some joints behind you?
Oh, these vinyls? I
Yeah,
got
those are vinyls.
yeah. And then a new poster. I got new posters coming in. I got the Good Kid, Mad City right here, and I got To Pimp a Butterfly, and then I got Kids See Ghosts, and I got Birds and Travis Scott. We're not gonna talk about Travis Scott because that's not about him today. But yeah, and then I got my MF Doom right here, but that's not a vinyl. That's the uh canvas that my girl had gave me, so that was very
Mm-hmm.
special. But dang, it's good
That's
to
what's good though.
yeah.
That's what's good though. Yeah, man. This is long time in the making.
Yeah, y'all don't know. We've been trying to ever since I was featured on your podcast, almost 2 years, honestly. A year and some change. But
Yeah,
ever since then we trying to get you over here or try to get our both things going. But every time we had it planned, it was something popped up, something like but you know, it's understandable, you know, that's life. You gotta work around that. And we here right now, surprisingly. Like
yeah, yeah.
I was not expecting this today, but I took some good notes today. I'm very well prepared. I know you wanted to go into the Kanye document,
Mm-hmm.
Jeen-yuhs, and also talk about the music that was released at that time. I'm trying to
Yeah.
find the notes I wrote. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I mean, I want to start off by asking. Well, actually, not asking. Let's start with that first episode. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
what's really key and important, like a running theme, is every time Kanye got a no, and no matter how relentless he was or how big he felt, like each moment, like him being in every moment, always being in tune with learning. I feel like what was represented in both episodes, as far as the relationship between him and his mom, and not
Yeah.
just his music, she as a mother was just so tapped into her son. She was tapped
Yeah.
into her faith, she was tapped into her work, but she was just so tapped in with her son and giving him plenty of experiences. Him living in a whole nother country for about a year, you know, because the profession she works, she's travels a lot, but the main home and being in Chicago and then moving to Atlanta and then all that. But going back to what I said, like these two episodes was a great example of damn, I wrote it down on my phone, man, of
Nah, I
what
feel what you're saying though.
you know what I'm saying, like how important it is to have a black mom or black or brown mom figure in your life to keep you grounded, to keep you leveled, to keep you motivated, but to also just feed into you and tap into you. Like what Donda done
Yeah.
for her son was just what uh I don't want to say that's the correct way of parenting, but she was just so
Yeah.
tapped into her son, which allowed him to be tapped into a multitude of things. So one of
Yeah.
the great examples is that fed off from Donda to Kanye was it's who you know and not what you know, because he probably would have never had a studio version ready, set up, $33,000 invested into his
Yeah.
music video to have. And I know I'm going far ahead, but kind of to give context, he wouldn't have all that if he wasn't so tapped in with himself. And then, getting all those no's and then
Right.
coming back home, you can still feel like, dang, like he needed that energy booster, he needed that, but like it shows today where's that's lacking, because obviously with the family he's with, them being the Caucasian descent, they wouldn't be able to really be able to tap into that or to give him the support he needed. And that's what most moms give, is the support the son may need, or the grown man may need in life whenever life tells him no. But when you come back home, you always gonna get that love, you always gonna get that support. So it's gonna make you want to go
Yeah.
back out there and just push. But dang, I just
Yeah.
wanted to say that to start it off, man.
Nah, man. I mean, like that. I think that's a great way to start. You know what I'm saying? Because the main thing about Kanye, throughout any era of his professional career, you're gonna talk about is confidence. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That's gonna be the number one thing. That's the thing that you know got him through all those no's and got him through all those hard times. And, like I thought that first of all, I want to give a huge up to Cootie, who
Yeah.
narrated the thing, directed the thing, picked up all these, precious moments in time.
Yes.
And when they was at his mom's apartment, in Chicago, he's like, yeah, like Kanye always had this confidence, but that confidence stems from the confidence that Donda had in him.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that like you just see how happy not only he made her, but what he was doing, how happy that made her. How she knows like raps to his songs, like how she
Yeah.
remembers things he used to do. Like it shows that when he comes home, he don't have to be somebody different. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? Like he don't have to kind of downplay. It's not her in his ear. Oh, you gotta do this, or you gotta get a real job. Like you kind of feel like that was never like it was like, oh, this is what you want to do. Then I would
Mm-hmm.
be behind you, 200%. And like uh, you know, those scenes, made me emotional because,
Yeah.
obviously, his mom ends up passing, not
Mm-hmm.
too long after that. And I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, ever since his mom died, he been wilding out. Because I think that,
Right.
like there's way too many different
Yeah.
factors, as far
Elements
as the
that
the
played into
the
that.
end. Yeah, yeah, for that to put it on that.
It's a roller
But
coaster for
you
real.
see, you see, like I know how I would, react. I don't know how I react actually if my mama was to be, taken from this earth. So, to kind of see that and have a little glimpse into their relationship, behind the scenes, it explained a lot. It explained a lot.
Yeah.
And I think those are, just very, very poignant memories and moments to have on camera and to show people where that confidence come from. It doesn't come from nowhere. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? She said that he had it when he was a young boy. You know what I'm saying? He was always arrogant, you know what I'm saying? But she never downplayed it.
Mm-hmm.
She always kind of validated it in that way. And I think that just gave him the audacity to continue on and become who he would eventually become.
Yeah, it's very
You know what I'm
important in
saying?
those developing years, I would say, to be tapped into your child. And the way she was just tapped in, and coming from the Black Panther scene and coming from this college profession scene, and then with his relationship with his dad, and then seeing all those documented uh, raps and freestyles of Kanye, like it's just endless smiles of him and endless happiness. But you can see where the turn was when his mom died, when we get there, as far as the Netflix document, but in real life, in terms of where we at now, like we obviously seen how that played out 18, 20 years later. But, you know, I felt like after his mom died and everything, it was just everything around him. He was so blindsided by noise, outside noise. Because again, every time he would have outside noise, like any beef or his first beef, and he went to the radio station and acted on it, said his side, but then still came back home to mom. Like that shows like what you need going into that type of world, because that's a whole different ball game. Because we saw how the night before he literally was just in Burger King sipping this stuff, telling these college kids, hey, this guy, don't be like Kanye, he dropped out, to the next night like being like this. But people don't see what's behind the scenes and what type of growth and what type of nurturing he's had from the relationships with his friends, being Cootie and all of them, and then just being tapped in. So when she showed him how I could be tapped into you and you don't have to really worry about all these other things, just do you, he learned to tap into a multitude of things, being in the right places at the right time. Because another running thing you would hear is from most of these well-known MCs at the time, or well-known producers a lot, they'd be like, man, Kanye, he was in this room and we was all grown in here, just a little old 14-year-old him just in there, like you just in the room. But he's always been absorbing, he's always been the one to learn, and he still continues to learn to this day, if it be what he tweets or what he says. But that's a whole different thing we're talking about then. But yeah, that was just another great example of what type of greatness can come out of his production alone, or of because I feel like the choice that he made was to serve. And so most of these albums right here are to serve. So when you're able to serve and give back to the hip hop, or give back to house music, give back to the gospel, or give back, with this album, the studio album, that's what I got from it, from the orchestra, from the choir, to being able to hear the street, but then also get a little R&B. It's just a lot to consume at once, man, and it just translates a lot from his mom to his upbringing and then to his first studio album. Dang. Can you hear me?
Oh shoot, I'm tripping. I'm on mute, but my fault. This whole production is even in the age of, huge biographical documentaries, this is unprecedented, because this is a top tier, act in music. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a Michael Jackson, Prince, Beatles, like tier artist of our generation, who we are getting a first hand, like primary source of when they were not there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one thing for it to be like a Last Dance, where you get like never before seen footage of, a basketball team or something that is highly publicized anyway. You just get the behind the scenes of it. But this is like, you see where he was at from when Kanye had cornrows to where he is on the Grammy stage, at the end of the second episode.
Yeah.
And, by that time, there's really not much more we can get. There's a lot more we can get, but not as much more we can get from the behind the scenes, because he's already in the public eye.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But before that, we get him from the late 90s to the early 2000s, like when they didn't even know how to pronounce his name right. You know what I'm saying?
Kanye or Kanye.
Yeah.
And then when you read it in the magazine, or you see it in the article, Kanye the producer, he produced this whole album, or, just the producer. Like, he didn't want that. Like, a lot of times Kanye still carries that one thing where he questions certain things. And one of the things that he says is, I wrote this down, it just came upon me. He was just like, you know how Kanye says rap is like basketball or like the NBA? Like, you have your Michael Jordan every year, or you just have your star, your new fresh thing that they want to push. One great example of, I think most people understand, if you're from a wrestling come up, is a kayfabe. And as far as a kayfabe go, you know, what type of act you want to bring. Kanye knew what he wanted to bring from the beginning. He was telling people all the time. He let people listen to his music. He didn't care. He took everything in. He took yes. He took
Yeah.
no's. He wanted it all. He didn't care for how you felt about it. He just wanted the critiqueness and then see what else he's able to provide. And that goes back to what I said. Like, it's what you're able to provide in the rap game or the hip hop game. You know, that also took a turn. Another great example, like I said, is with Kendrick. When he came out with Good Kid, Mad City, you thought, oh, right when we about to put the crown on Drake, like Kendrick just comes out of nowhere with this not freestyle, with this record on Big Sean's song, calling out everybody. And then since then, we know the rest is history. But back to what I was saying, like, you know how the NBA, you know how the rap game is like the NBA, like, they literally choose who they want up there. And even the closest people he would think, like Jay-Z and Dame and them, like, they still giving him no. Like, it was very sad to see that. Like, I felt upset.
I'm surprised. Like, so
I really felt upset.
When you say Jay-Z, I'm surprised that Jay-Z is not a bigger part of this production, especially in these first couple of and maybe that's just me thinking that Jay-Z and Kanye are closer than they actually are. But like we don't see his work on Never Let Me Down. We don't see we see a little bit of him when Kanye is laying down his verse on the bounce. But as far as, you know, mentioning Jay-Z, he's kind of mentioned as a
boss,
sort of deity, and obviously at this time this is the height of Jay-Z. So you know, like Jay-Z is not chilling nowhere. You know what I'm saying? In a way that Pharrell is, or in a way that like
even though we getting
Just
out of the
Blaze
90s.
is. Even though we like at this time, during this whole time, Jay-Z is fish grease. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z is Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Jay-Z is Drake. You know what I'm saying?
He already has your heart.
Jay-Z is the Beatles. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not too many sit downs you're gonna get. It's not too many people that's gonna pull up a regular camera and get a glimpse of Jay-Z. But
right,
you know, I think that just goes to show you just how talented this man was, and just how tough it is to get into this game, or at least it was back then.
Yeah, it was a different game then. You had to get radio.
Absolutely. You can have multiple songs like this is after 2004 when people are really starting to hear about Kanye West. This is after he's done multiple songs with Jay-Z. This is after he's done songs with Khalid Kweli. This is after he's done songs with Alicia Keys. You know what I'm saying? And he's still, like, obviously he hadn't been rapping too much like thus far. But, you know, for when
the opportunity arises, though, he took it. He took advantage of it. In every aspect. He didn't care if you was a reporter. He didn't care if you was a person on the street. If you was there, if you was listening, if you gave him even 5 seconds, he gonna give you the 5 seconds of his life. Like, if it meant it was gonna change it. Like,
yeah, that's what he said, man. I'm not like I think the thing about Kanye, because Kanye is such a star, because Kanye, like he said, has so much heart, so much drive, so much charisma.
Yeah.
You know, people kind of disregard. He may not be Dr. Dre on the boards. He may not be Jay-Z on the raps, but something about him, that combination that he has, combined with his heart, combined with his drive, combined with that charisma, you know, it's undeniable. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes him who he was back then, and that's who would make him eventually who he would become to be. You know, it's like I'm just really still blown away at it's just surreal that we're able to watch this, you know, on tape.
Bro, like, you don't know how many times my emotions changed. Like, I went from bobbing my head like this to just be like, and then just and then
like
see him.
Like to see things like him and Pharrell meet each other for the first time. To see it at the Dynasty tour, Beyonce over there in the back just chilling.
We saw her for like 2 seconds, and I was like,
for 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? To see when they was working on in the late register, working on, I think there was crack music and the game in the background. You know, all these people, John Legend, Dame
Oh
Dash,
gosh.
uh,
Still
like
early in their careers too.
early. And another thing that surprised me as well, didn't surprise me, but just a little bit more context into the time that we're talking about,
Yeah.
is the rare air that that the reverence that DMX is held in at this time, because I think
It was
because DMX's prime was so short comparatively to Jay-Z's, it kind of gets diminished, but they were seen as apparently they were seen as equals,
yeah.
as contemporaries.
Sometimes
You know what I'm
Jay-Z would
saying?
put DMX over him.
Yeah,
Sometimes
like
Jay-Z would literally go on interviews and say, "Yo, DMX, like you couldn't top that at that time. Even though it
yeah,
was
yeah.
short-lived,
Mm-hmm.
at the time you couldn't have crowd control like that like DMX.
Yeah, like you hear Cootie's, we looking for the next Jay-Z, we looking for the next
Yeah.
DMX. You know what I'm
Like
saying?
head
Like,
bopping, windows down, everybody through the block is gonna hear DMX or Jay-Z through your speakers at the time.
right, right, right.
I wrote a lot. I wrote a lot. There's a lot I really want to get into, going back from the production and going back to the document. Like, what else I wrote? Oh, I think I came to a conclusion, like, and it's not a bad thing because obviously Kanye knew he was tapped in, like we always know, as far as at this time. First half, would you say the first half of the College Dropout is radio and the second half is for the streets and for neo soul and for that type of production? And I'm not saying either side
How many,
is
how many
bad or
songs on
good.
Dropout? 19?
About 19 or 20. And I
What's the?
say
Give me the first 10 tracks.
first 10, damn. I can give you the first 10. First 10 is uh intro, we don't
Graduation skit.
we
Yeah,
don't care,
we don't care.
graduation day,
Graduation skit.
all falls down, fly
Oh,
away, spaceship, Jesus walk, never let me down. And I say the turn happens as soon as new workout plan comes on, cause that's more like house music right there. Like that was the best representation of Chi-Town and all those elements being played, and then going straight into slow jams with Jamie Foxx, and then you kind of just slow it down, like, and then you just go right back into Breathe In, Breathe Out, which is street like, or head bopping like with Ludacris. Like I saw that change happen from the first half. Because the first half is more radio. Like, you're going to hear All Falls Down, obviously, on the radio. You're going to hear Jesus Walk. You're going to hear Get 'Em High. But then it goes into this other half that I feel like people keep forgetting. Like, because then that's when the skits was
mm-hmm.
more heavy towards the end. And then
Mm-hmm.
with the closing, with all those long monologues. And then next thing you know, you hit with Twister. Then you hit with Mos Def and all the underground scene of such, or independent. And then like it's just certain sections that I just recognize. I'm not saying the
Yeah,
first complete half is radio, but it obviously you could hear the difference in that production, like of what he
I
wanted
think
to provide.
like with the College Dropout, I'm gonna just say this, like with this documentary, it's just crazy because these songs, like, to me, are like, can you imagine seeing a video of like Marvin Gaye, like hearing what's going, or somebody hearing what's going on for the first time,
Yeah.
or somebody hearing like I don't even know, you know what I'm saying, but to sit back and watch Pharrell hear Through the Wire for the first
For the
time,
first time.
or to like
D. Ray
to
Davis and
see
them.
you know what I'm saying, like, or when he was rapping or All Falls Down, you know, hearing that stuff for the first time and to watch people's reaction, you know, those songs are obviously, you know, we've heard them for years
Yeah,
and
we
years and
know
years
them,
and
we love
years,
them.
but like, you know, it kind of puts it in a different place, you know. When I hear Through the Wire, I hear 20 years of influence. I hear, you know, everything that all the memories that I, you know, associate with that song,
Yep.
and all the greatness that I associate with that song. But you know, when I watch it on the doc, you know, I gotta be like, I gotta look at it for what it is. You know what
Yup.
I'm saying? And it's a hot track regardless. So when you
Regardless.
say like the first half street, the first half radio, I don't know how much. Obviously, you got your singles, but I don't know how much of this was supposed to be radio, or I don't know how much of this was supposed to be like
Because it's
for the streets
provided so
because
much for everybody. Like even your own
because
grandma could probably
yeah,
listen to this album. Like I'm not even joking to you.
and because we're not looking at it from not looking at it from our perspective, but looking at it from the perspective of the artist when he
Yo,
made it.
when he
You know
made
what
it.
I'm saying? Like there obviously there are gonna be some songs that Kanye did not expect. Like I'm pretty sure Kanye expected something like Breathe In, Breathe Out or something like
Yeah.
Never Let Me Down to be bigger songs. You know what I'm
Yeah, because
saying?
that's the songs he
But
was
slow
primarily showing or
yeah,
showcasing.
yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like but something like slow jams or excuse me, something like Through the Wire, those become, you know, pantheon great songs. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's tough to decipher.
Yeah, because even the artists, like the songs that he was showcasing a lot, I was like, most of these songs, like yes, they are great songs, but these weren't the songs that most people were just playing. I guess you could say, because like the songs he was pushing, like you said, with "Breathe In, Breathe Out," obviously I would put Jesus Walk over that song if you ask me, or whatever the case may be. But
Yeah,
yeah, to witness this and knowing how we may have felt or our parents may have felt at the time of experiencing this album for the first time, but to see other artists to get that okay, like yeah, this is something great.
yeah,
Like y'all need to really pay attention to this kid because he about to take over the scene, and that goes back to like I said, is the NBA. Like when Kanye said the NBA is just like rap is just like the NBA. Like Jordan passing that torch and being at the All-Star game, like yo, that kid. You remember that scene? Yeah, kid, he about to really
yeah.
like come out here and like is Kanye the Kobe or is he just Kanye in the rap game? Like it just translates. It goes hand in hand as far as
Hmm.
these things being publicized and these images and such. But the route that he took and he had a play on him dropping out of college and then calling it a college dropout, then having that photo shoot and all that. He invested in himself. You know, he's a good example of how to invest in your time, invest using the funds you make and making certain sacrifices to fund your career, to fund the career you want to have, that you aspire for. You know, this alone, like how I translate with that translate, not translate. What is it? Translate? Am I tripping? I'm tripping. Anyways, how that translates to me is every episode I have a type of investment. That investment is planning. That investment is trying to know the host, uh, or take notes on the host, or take notes on what I may want to talk about. And the investment on the editing, that's an investment. And then the investment on just this, and just changing it up. And every episode just being different type of production and quality, like it's an investment sometimes even with money, but he showed it in a perfect example of having an investment in faith and having an investment in yourself into what you want, because he could have just sat there and sobbed all day and just been making 5 beats a day for 365 days and whatnot, but he didn't. While doing that, he just took those funds and funded this while he was doing this and doing this. Like he was very in tune. Like I said, he was just in tune with high fashion and in tune with music production and in tune with just being in those rooms. You know what I'm saying? And taking everything in, every little thing. Because
Yeah,
people
like
still would try to attack him, like he stole from them or something. You know what I'm saying? When he didn't, he just learned, man. He was just in tune.
yeah, you see, like all that investing in like especially with the bread, and then like another great example of self-talk and the power of life and death being in the power of your tongue, man.
Yeah.
Like this man is like you could tell he was a rap. I just feel like people used to talk, or at least dudes used to talk cooler back in the day, man. Like
Swear.
to be able to talk yourself up like he was in that car. He was talking about, man, I remember I used to not have a car and I would walk to the train station, and I was walking to the train station, I was practicing my Grammy speech. You know what I'm saying? Like, and talking about, man, you like, people always talk about, oh, you living the dream, you making these beats, you living the dream. Yeah, man. Like, I may be living, I may be living your American dream,
Yeah.
but I ain't close to my dream yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
That put it in
it's just,
perspective, dog.
it's just things that you kind of seeing that you're like, wow, like he really, made this shake in a way that was inevitable. At least for
Mm-hmm.
him, it was inevitable. You know what I'm saying? And really, that's the only person it needs to be evident to.
Yep.
And that's just it's just crazy to see things like, I want to be the best dressed rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How prophetic was that? You know what I'm saying? Like, so
even
I mean,
though
it's
even though we knew the outcomes as we watched both episodes, it just still felt like I was there. It still felt like damn,
yeah,
like this was the
yeah,
process of it all. Like, you could see the process on these commercials on MTV at the time or on the radio, but to be there and to see it all documented, these
absolutely.
raw conversations with his mom and Cootie and them, and seeing all the love he got, and just them just giving him the okay of just like, this kid is next. I'm trying to tell y'all. But every time someone would do that, it was just like, it felt like he was going backwards. When he wasn't necessarily moving backwards, because again, he go back home, he gets grounded, gets humble, you know what I'm saying, and go right back out there and fight and eat, you know what I'm saying, and keep eating and keep learning and keep striving, you know what I'm saying, day
Yeah,
in and day out, you know what I'm saying. um
yeah. Like, you talking about like being there, like this dot, like that's just another great aspect of this production. Because when you finally get to the end, and you get to the college dropout release show,
yeah.
and you see him out on the stage, and he's like got that blank look on his face. He's just looking up, like you kind of like remember, like it kind of feels like you're there with him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You kind of was there when he was like, it was introducing them, with them people with Mace. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's with Harlem World, and now you see him like on this stage, about to release this record, all these people in this building for
Yeah.
him. And it's obviously he goes on to do much bigger, much better things. But that particular journey is it's cathartic, to say the least.
I'm gonna say this though, even though it was well paced, it definitely was, but for the first two episodes, I feel like what they're showing us is, even though we didn't get to see the teenage years and all that, but we saw what was primarily important, those 2 to 3 years of striving and working for Rockefeller and doing beats and all that. It showed us how fast it can really happen. But while it happened so fast, like, we're gonna head into the depth. We're gonna head into that type of stardom and what to do with that, and how everything just starts webbing together. We still don't know how much more Cootie have and them may have documented, even though he had said while he was on the Grammy stage and all that, he was still making music videos and such for other people and all that, and they all went to do their own thing. Ain't no telling what else is documented. Hell, we might head
Yeah.
into the freaking, as we go into Heartbreak and Graduation, and then going into what you call it? Damn.
Yeezer.
No, not
Yeezer.
users.
Oh, Fantasy.
Yeah, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. See, I had a funk right there. That's gonna be real interesting, because that's when it's gonna really slow down, because all this just happened so fast. Like, I don't think people realize how fast this was for him. Like, even though it was a slow, long process, this is still only the beginning. This is still only the beginning. So him having his first freshman album, and then we head into the sophomore album. We know what happens right there, but to say to say that, because of the type of perspectives I have gained throughout the years of just being a consumer and watching films, but then also doing theater, and then researching characters and taking notes. I see what type of editing they may have done, and they served the analog as far as when Cootie shot in film, and then the process of how Kanye made music. Like you saw how much stuff he had around him, like a whole like square of stuff around him. Like I'm not talking about like trash and food. I'm talking about like all these analogs and plugins and all that. Like now today, all I gotta do is load up a computer, make a beat, 808s and all that. But back then, that was a whole different process that I admired. And a lot of people still admire to this day. I'm really into that as far as MPCs and drum machines and all that. I really love those.
Mm-hmm.
People still use that, and I love that
Mm-hmm.
he used that because of the crispiness that he provided in the drums and going back to the soulful productions. You can see where elements of James Brown had played, and all the shout outs he gave to Michael Jackson and a lot of his songs, and again just providing that and giving back. I feel like that's still always important. So I feel like part of the reason why he took that approach is always wanting to give back. In this first album alone that we're talking about, that plays into his faith. And one of the main things is, how do you give back in your work? You know what I'm saying? Give back in your job, give back in your family, but then give back into his production. Like that's really what he did. He provided that. That's why I say even anybody can listen to this album, even your grandma. Like it don't matter what track. Well, it do kind of matter what track you put, but it don't matter what track you may choose. Someone's a certain demographic of listeners of what type of rap or hip hop they may like, if it'd be boom rap or house music or such, they're all gonna get that in this album. They're gonna get that at that time. They're gonna be able to get that,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like it definitely served. And what he did was, him and Cootie, they followed in faith. They led in faith, and I had to say that. Like that was one of the main themes, again, as I said, that I noticed, like them always bringing going back to God and going back to their faith. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's important, and that leads me to one of my questions that I wanted to ask. Actually, where is it? Boys and men. I said, what did I say, man? Damn, I really scattered my notes today. I don't usually do that. Well, damn. What was I gonna say? Voice box. I'm taking way too long. I'm gonna have a cut
You
right
good,
here.
bro? You good?
I'm taking way too long. Great
You
rap
good, man.
breakdown. Cootie cameras. Oh, okay. I said, this is just like me talking to myself, saying scenes. I said, you think
What
everyone?
kind of notebook is that?
This is actually a gift from my
What's it?
girl's great grandma. Look, me looking like a baby. What was I, a junior, sophomore that year? Oh man. I said and I use it. I'm actually about to be done with this, like every page. I said, you think everyone has a purpose at a young age if tapped in from their parents, or if tapped in by faith? And that's what I want to ask you. Like, do you believe, like, with those type of things being brought up every time they narrated, every time Kanye talked, he lived and breathed God. Like God was talking, and Cootie said, "When I go direct this music video, like this ain't me producing it. This is God." Like, do you think like everyone has a purpose as far as like what they're able to do, as far as when they tap into it, whenever that case may be? If you're 30, 15, 16, don't matter, but having the support from those, if it be your mom, your great aunt, whoever it is, and then having that faith, do you believe like that also played a key role into Kanye and the relationships he had around him, and then everybody being like-minded as far as having that faith and as far as having that home? You know what I'm saying? Even Cootie had that support and home and love, and he noticed what he needed to tap into. Like he always had the camera on him. His dad always had the camera on him. Like I really wanted to ask, like, is that really what really helped drive this? It was that faith.
Oh my gosh! I mean, like, see, I like to think so. I like to think that everybody is born with something that they are, proficient at,
Yeah.
or at least have a natural inclination to do. I think obviously, the first thing we go to if somebody is musically talented, then we call that a gift. We call that like something that they was just naturally talented at, or somebody like a Michael Jordan or a LeBron James or a really really great athlete. We like to think that they are, God ordained in that way.
Yeah.
But as far as being having something from God, I think that your thing or your thing that God has blessed you to be or graced you to be may be something that's less glamorous than that, and kind of looking at things from a godly perspective.
Yeah.
Like God may have given Kanye the gift of music.
But he
You know
tapped
what I'm saying?
into
But
it though.
he tapped into it, but he may have given somebody else like the gift of being like an exceptional friend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like or being like an exceptional like you know driver
I
or
would say this.
anything.
I
You
would
know what
say
I'm
this.
saying?
He didn't need nobody to tell him you needed to rap, you needed to produce. He tapped
Mm,
into that. He was shown that.
hmm.
That goes back to like I
Right.
said in the beginning, his mom being able to tap into herself, tap into everything, but then tap into her son and show him like how you're able to just tap in and tapping in, you
Yeah.
bringing that faith into it and all that. Um, Kanye,
Yeah.
like he said, nobody needs to tell him. Like he tapped in himself. He's always been tapped in.
Like obviously if you have that gift, that doesn't mean that you are
Yeah,
devoid of the need of drive. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying, or guidance. You know what I'm saying. When I'm like, I once asked my brother, I was like, do you believe in like soulmates? Do you believe there's somebody out there
Mm.
for you?
It's okay to
You know what I'm
question those
saying?
things.
And he was like, not exactly. I do believe that if you're doing the right thing, if you're doing what God has for you, you know what I'm saying? If you're led by not yourself, but if you're led by, like the Holy Spirit inside you,
Mm.
then they will lead you to someone, or whatever you set your hands to do will succeed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if like let's say somebody doesn't have, like, I'm not 100% sure that my grace was to play football.
All right.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
gonna
But
definitely it could
you
lead you
know,
into something else, man.
exactly, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? If I just gave up and said I wasn't that good at football in high school and never played in college, then I wouldn't have been able to, get be blessed with people's presence,
Yeah.
bless people with my presence, like to be a blessing to the guys on this team, to guys at this school, for these people to be a blessing to me. You know what I'm saying? Opportunity to live in a different state. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like we never really know the way that God has things planned. We never know the way that God wants to increase our life.
Yeah.
By doing things that we may not be the greatest to do. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? But to answer your question, yes, I do think that everybody has a purpose. Everybody's on this earth for a purpose. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that sometimes those purposes can seem to be more glamorous than others.
Yeah. Yeah. As far as you going to it with the best intentions or the right type of intentions, and part of that is the guidance that's brought up, and then uh, having examples around you. You know, Kanye was just surrounded with that energy at all times at that young age. Like he was always surrounded by that. But again, like you just gotta have that intention of serving. So when I release these episodes, I'm not saying like, oh, I'm leading by God. Like I'm not gonna tell nobody what to do with their life, but I'm gonna tell you what I do. And what I do is I just try to lead into uh, uh, just being myself, because this is podcasting, this is ill conversations, you know what I'm saying? We talk about any and everything around here, so anything could be said, but um I wanted to have open discussion. I want to have these type of questions raised, because I just noticed that and I needed to talk about that. So again, like I think part of that is just having the best interest of serving. I'm not saying you have to serve by God, we're not saying that, but just have the best interest of just giving back. You know what I'm saying? And he gave back in many ways on this first album. He really did. That came with a lot of love. But we gonna see what it's gonna turn into with all that love. We know what love turns into. You know, but even with the hate, it's still some love. It's still love. There's a thin line between it. It's not too much of a difference between love and hate. But with hate comes love, and with love comes hate. You know what I'm saying? But you know, He kept his faith, him, Cootie, everyone around him, you know what I'm saying? Kanye was truly and is still truly loved to this day. You know what I'm saying? I only want the best for him, speaking in terms of what's going on for him right now. But I will say this: the way he's handling it. I'm not gonna go into the whole mental thing, but I will say there's a personality thing going on. There's really a ego trip going on as far as how he's handling this as a high schooler, man. Like, you're making it more publicized than it needs to be. You gotta, we know how it is when you lose control, especially as a man before you even became a father. We saw how you lose control. But then when you feel like you lose control as a black man, as a father, and I'm not gonna tell you how to do it. I'm not a father myself, but I'm just saying, as far as what I see on the outside, I still want the best for you, Ye, or Kanye, formerly known as Kanye West. Um, it's just a respect thing. I just want the best for you. But out of love, I'm telling you, you shouldn't be doing it like this. The way you're doing it is bullying. You have an influence, and I know you always talk about that. But you got to recognize that, because people go do things. They feel like, oh, I look up to him, so I feel like I'm gonna go in these comments and make someone want to delete their stuff and make someone want to get off the face, and have that type of trauma. You know what I'm saying? We know there's things against you. We know that. But everything is a choice. But you made the choice to make it more publicized than it needs to be, because that's what media does. They serve like that. I'm not saying they the main problem, but the way you went about it as a father and as a black man, you made that choice. Is very childlike, my brother. It really is. At first it was funny. I love Troye. Don't get me wrong. I love Troye. But man, the way you going about it right now is not good. And if it is for the rollout, cool. That goes back to, like I said, it's a brand, it's a thing, it's a kayfabe. I get that. But right now, how you going about it? Nah, dog. That's not. You're not serving. I don't feel like you're serving. I love you. I'm still gonna listen to it, but I don't feel like you're serving. I had to say that. I feel like a lot of people that are uh in tune with what may be going on, and even if you're not, you still somehow gonna find a way of finding Ye in the
Yeah.
media. Like, there's no escaping that. Even if you don't feed your algorithm, Ye's gonna find a way into these media outlets. But the way the first rollout of Donda was handled, I love how he did that. Stayed off the face of the internet. The only way you would hear stuff is from other people, and even then they would be damn near wrong. So, but the way you handling this right now, I don't think it's in your best interest to do that as a father and to your kids, and I don't know if she is your wife or still, but
Yeah. It's tough, man. Like, my boy hit me, Joseph. Joseph. We love Kanye.
yeah,
He hit me today.
yeah,
He was like, you want Donda too? And I was like, nah, I'm straight, man. Because he's like, uh, I guess it's like on the STEM player site,
yeah,
and it's not going to be released on streaming, which is
services,
fine.
yeah,
Um, he's like, dang, I thought you was a Kanye fan. I'm just like, I mean, I am, but like, I'm not a fan of foolishness. You know
right,
what I'm saying? Like, and even when Donda came out, like, I didn't listen to Donda for a while because uh I have a hard time taking music serious if I can't take it serious.
yeah,
That's the reason why I don't listen to a lot of people.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's like, I ended up listening to Donda, and I think Donda was the album of the year last year.
mm-hmm.
But like, I have a hard time listening to your music if I can't take you seriously.
Yeah,
If I feel like your get down is at any way genuine, or your get down is kind of inconsistent with
yeah,
with values, that not necessarily values that I have, but I think against your best interests. You know what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying? Like, I have this thing I do with my friends. If they're doing something, and they're telling me they're about to do something, I'm like, look, do you think this is a good idea? Like, in your heart of hearts, do you think this is a good idea? If they say yes, in my heart of hearts, I believe this is a good idea, then I'm like, hey, you're a grown man, do what you want to do. But
Right.
if they're like, if they like, I want you to say it out loud, and I want you to tell me that you think this is the best thing for you to do. You know what I'm saying? And like if that's what they believe, hey man, I can't convince you otherwise. But what I can tell you, like James Brown say, do good by yourself.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? And so and like as far as Kanye, I feel like to be a self-proclaimed Christian man, I feel like there's just no way that you're doing right by yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's no way you're doing right by yourself, and so I'm in no rush to listen to your new music. Like I said, I'm always gonna respect you. I think you're the greatest hip hop artist that's ever lived. But like, as far as clamoring to go listen to your music, nah, that's just I will in time, but you know,
Yeah, because it's important. He realizes a lot of things, and then he goes backwards into and forwards into, oh, I should have never, or I'm sorry, and then it's like I said, it's a roller coaster. Uh, Going into those different phases of life for him. But like I said, even when you don't want to pay attention, it's just right there in your face, and it's just like, yo, like I want to see you win. Of course, I want you with your kids. Of course, I want things to work out. But you have a problem. You have a problem with yourself right now. You have other problems that you can't control, but the ones you are in control in, and the choices that you're making, and how you're going about it, bro, it's not it, man. It's not it. I don't stand for that. Like I said, I love Troye. Don't get me wrong. Like when Yeezus album and all that came out, and Troye was there. I love that. But like again, you're highly publicized, man. You have an influence. On a great scale, on a mass scale, international scale. You know what I'm saying? In the world we live in, you couldn't just hop on a radio station and just be like, hey, now you just do it with your thumbs, you know what I'm saying, on the screen, and it's just like that, you know. You need to recognize that, you know what I'm saying. Why is this video paused back here? That's fine. But yeah, I had to bring it up because again, like I said, when you wanted to do this, uh, or when you had came to me about wanting to do an episode and you brought up the fact that we could talk about the Jeen-yuhs thing, I also felt like it was very important to talk about the thing now because it is a comparison. We're gonna forever talk about Ye in regards to his career. You know what I'm saying? But then being able to, even though we seen different background scenes, but to see it more in depth and to be more firsthand is very different. Like we said before, like it's a definitely an experience. But like I said, I felt like these first two episodes, well paced, great production. The fact that they let Cootie help out with it and not just be like, here's my footage. He also played an part into it. But like I said, with what's going on with Ye right now, I want you to win. I want the best for you. But the way you're just going about it is not good, man. You know what I'm saying? And whoever's around you to help you out or to support you, I hope it's the right crowd. You know what I'm saying? Everything you're doing is for the best intention as far as music, as far as fashion and whatnot. But we're talking about your personal life, dog. Like as a husband or as a father, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not it. It's not it. But I'm gonna leave it right there, man. It's just not it. Oh, where you at? Actually, you in your dorm right now? If I'm not mistaken.
yes sir,
Oh
yes
yeah,
sir, yes sir,
chilling.
chilling, man, chilling. It's interesting, man. It's interesting up here. College life is finally starting to get, like I said, acclimated. Finally starting to feel, comfortable at
Mm-hmm.
home, knowing where things are, knowing where my feet are, and just getting into a rhythm. And it's my third year here.
Third
You know
year
what I'm
here.
saying? So I rock with it. I rock with it. Things are looking up. Weather's getting a little bit better every week. So you know, I'm feeling good. What's going on with you these days?
Me these days, like I said, heading to New Year, it was pretty rough. Not the best, not the ugliest, but it was still pretty rough of his own. But currently, right now, just working and then also just funding these episodes and then all sorts of other things. I just released a photo shoot collab that I just did with my boy Alex, or AKA Tree. You know what I'm saying? That was great. And then I got another shoot going on too. But some other works too, man. I want to be able to spread my audio and whatnot on Apple and Spotify and such. Until I found out a couple other things that kind of got in my way. But I'm gonna get on that soon, as I said before in the last episode. But other than that, nothing much, man. Just chilling, staying out the way. You know what I'm saying? When people want to
Yeah.
collab, we can. You know, plan accordingly, act accordingly. But other than that, just staying out the way. I've really just been off. If you want to talk more about music, I've really been out of the mainstream way for a while now. Like, there's rare occasions that I just be like, I gotta listen to the radio because either my Bluetooth just wasn't working or I'm just in a whole different car. You know what I'm saying? That's not in
Yeah.
my control. But as far as radio, man, it's just the same stuff being played, and we know all about the paymentship and all that, hearing the same few artists and whatnot. But I wouldn't
Hey
be able to
man,
tell you what's going on in the scene right now. I wouldn't be able
I
to.
wanna tell you what this thing me and my sweet baby doing. I gotta leave here soon, but I want to tell you about, like, the versus battles.
Yes.
So we do our own versus battles, right? And so it started out, I want to say, in December, and there was just one night we was chilling. We not big into the nightlife, so we just chilling, in the
Yeah.
room. And I'm like, hey, why don't we do something? This is something me and my family's been doing for a couple of years. It's like, hey, so we'll take 10 minutes and we'll both come up with a playlist of 10 songs. I'll take Jay-Z, you get Kanye. You come up with 10 songs that you think can be any 10 songs that Jay-Z got, and I come up with 10 songs that Jay-Z I think.
Oh
And we've
man.
been doing that, and we go at it, and so we play one song from each playlist, and then we have a judge, and it's basically a point system, and we go at it, and we've been doing that, man, for months with just different artists,
Oh man.
and it's been so fun. It's been so
I saw one
fun,
with
man.
you and your girl. I think you did on Snap. One of y'all had
Yeah,
Alicia
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Keys
yeah.
and
We did John Legend, Alicia Keys. That and
yeah,
see that was before.
yeah,
That was in COVID. But like we've been doing these a lot more consistently. I think we do them like every
yeah.
Tuesday and
That
Friday,
shit sounds
and it's
fun.
and it's and it's become like really fun. We've got guys coming and people want to
I know y'all
be
going
involved
back
in it.
and forth like, nah, man. See this production, this sound, this right here, son. You hear this at this time? Like, I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
just see it
yeah.
right now, bro.
Already,
Especially
man.
that
It's
you
great.
said
It's
Kanye. I
great.
mean, Kanye and Jay Z. I thought you were gonna say Jay Z and Nas, but that
Nah, we haven't. I think we did J. Cole and Kendrick last night, but that wasn't us. We had two other guys do those. That was really fun. We've done Future and Young Thug.
So, do
We've
y'all
done
include, like? Sorry to cut you off. When you
sure.
talk about Kanye, when you talk about Future, J. Cole, not only have they made music, but they produce music or co-wrote music. Like, do y'all
So
include
this
all those factors? And as
so we
far as
do
who's the most entertaining, is this like Chris Brown at this time or Michael Jackson? Like on
yeah.
stage,
So what we do
live. Like,
is
there's differences, man.
nah that we
What do
we
y'all
stick with
consider?
the playlist.
Okay,
We
okay,
stick with the playlist, and if it's a like say if it's Kanye with the Kanye one, we did Kanye songs. You know what I'm saying? But a couple nights ago, we did Kanye versus Pharrell producer
dang,
versus, right? And so only songs that Kanye produced,
right.
not songs that are Kanye songs, only songs that Pharrell produced, not Pharrell songs. We had a couple of Pharrell songs, a couple of Kanye songs mixed in there, but mostly, I included that. I did the Kanye thing. I included Get By, include Heart of the City, include
Mm,
You Don't Know My Name, Alicia Keys,
mm.
things like that, and they're fun, man. They're really really fun. They're really really fun, man. But thank you again for having me on here,
Yeah, man. No,
man.
thank you for making
I
the time.
appreciate
Like,
you,
this been a
man.
long time coming, y'all. Y'all don't really understand. Like, I'm very appreciative to have you here, bro. I would love to get another one in. Like,
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man.
man, like I mean soon. Like soon, man. I got some
Whatever happens,
plans.
bro. Whatever happens, man. Keep going, man. Me and Big Mike, we always talking you up, bro. We see what you're doing, man, and we appreciate you putting on for the
Yeah.
turf. We appreciate you, that drive you got, that heart you got, man. It's great to see. It's
Yeah.
refreshing to see. And you inspire people. You know what I'm saying? You influence people. You influence me. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? You inspired me to do better. You inspired me to work harder. And so never stop, man. Never stop.
I
All right.
appreciate it. It's always love from my end, you know what I'm saying? One phone call away, one text message away, you already know, man. But
Absolutely.
even though we didn't do the intro, I'm gonna do the proper outro for my boy and for us to get out of here. I know he don't have much time. It's been great having you here, man. This will probably be up pretty soon. You'll probably be the first to hear about it. I have a plan for this episode. I really do, and I just have a plan. Just know that. But I hope everyone has had a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening. It's your boy MirMir here, and peace. That's what it. That's it.
Word, word, word. All right,
Thanks,
man.
thanks, man.
Appreciate you, man.
God,
Appreciate you,
I
man.
love this, man.
Hey, man.
We might have to do some follow up episodes.
For sure, for sure, absolutely, absolutely, man. Let your grandma know, let your brothers know, man. I said what's up. All right,
I let them know, man. Always love from this end, man.
all right,
Stay
man.
blessed, stay safe.
For sure.
All
You
right, bro.
too, man. All right, my boy.